Hi guys, I'm back again with another video. I hope you're doing good. Today we're going to talk about starting locks and long hair and why it's unnecessary. And it is, honestly, first of all, guys, locking your hair is, we're doing that to grow hair. So it grows really well, which is the whole point. So there's no need I need to grow my hair out to a certain length first before I start them. It doesn't hinder the process, but I'll explain because it's really unnecessary. First of all, and I've said this in other videos, a lot of other videos, hair locks because it sheds every day. As a matter of fact, it's over there on the wall, but maybe you can't see the whole thing. But anyway, hair locks because it sheds every day. It sheds from the scalp and it tangles with itself, especially if you have curly hair. Straight hair doesn't tend to tangle with itself. Straight hair tends to slide right out, but curly hair tangles with itself pretty much as soon as it sheds, which is why afro hair, if you don't comb it on a regular basis, it will start to lock on its own. And it's, then it just doesn't look, like locks. It'll just mat up and, it could look like that freeform thing. You have to comb it. And it's not because it tangles so bad with itself. It's because the hairs that shed are tangling up with it really bad. And so you got to get those hairs out. The difference with locks is that we keep those hairs and we need to keep those hairs. But it typically will tangle up too much to get out of the curl, being that it's a curl tangled with a curl, which is how locking works. Unfortunately for people with long hair, the curl tangles up pretty quickly, usually within the first 3 to 5 inches. The tighter your curl pattern is, the less the curl is going to travel down the strand before it gets stuck. And once one hair gets stuck, anything that sheds after that gets stuck and it all tangles up with itself and it backs up from there. So what happens is when the budding starts, which budding is the very beginning stages of locking. It's when you first start to see hairs that have shed start to tangle up. Budding typically happens, it typically begins around the 3 to 5 inches inside the length of the hair. So if you've got 7 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches of curl, once it's started up with the comb coils, the hair that sheds is not going to get all the way down to those ends. It's only going to get about 3 to 5 inches down. And even like when I do them, I do my best to try to get those hairs to move. But as they start to shed, even within 2 weeks, they only get so far before they start to back up from there. So then what typically happens is you'll have a curl. Locks that are started in hair that's past 7 inches typically have a curl on the ends of them for a really long time. If you don't like it, you can cut it off. Sometimes we cut before we even start the locks just because sometimes it's hard to get through that much hair, especially if it's a really tight curl. Like before I'll get to the top, I'll be fatigued. We're talking hours of work when the curl is really that long. And typically it's hard to get afro hair with a really tight curl that long, but if you've been successful at that, that is awesome. But you really won't need that because what's going to happen is that hair is going to remain a curl for a really long time, and it's everything past it's going to lock, and you'll see the lock growing and thriving, but the ends will still be curls. And I think even me, I started mine a little bit long, so where you can still see curls hanging on the ends of these. They're just gonna be frizzy, and if you don't like the frizz, you can get rid of them, but I kind of like the frizz, so I keep mine. But until they are cut off or fall off, they tend to tangle with each other because they're frizzy and because they're not locked. So you want to be sure to run your fingers through your hair on a regular basis if you're going to keep them. Eventually, once the hair fully locks, they tend to fall off if you don't cut them. But that takes a long time. You're gonna have curls hanging for a long time. So it's really unnecessary to have long hair, unless, of course, you like that frizzy little curl hanging at the end, and then you're good. So I hope this information has been helpful to somebody. If you like my information, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.